The last remaining street signs that were put up to target the LGBTQ plus community in the 1990s have been removed in Silver Lake. LA City Council members Hugo Soto Martinez and Nithya Raman were on hand today to help remove the signs. They say the no cruising and no U-turn signs were put up in the 1990s to prevent people in the gay community from meeting up with other gay people.
I was also surprised that these U-turn signs were still up. And at first, they seem a little, oh, okay, it's just a no U-turn sign. But when you learn the history of it and you realize that these were used to profile gay people, it's so important that we have these removed.
The LA City Council members say the signs were put up after the gay community began to grow and because there was a gay bar in that area.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I gotta tell you guys. We gotta go to Clown World USA. And I really mean that. Like, we are actually really going to Clown World, okay? In fact, I'm still waiting for Elon Musk to perfect this technology to go to Mars, okay? And I'm trying to be on one of the first flights to colonize Mars, okay? Because we definitely need to start over, okay? Stories like this are why, right? Stories like this, okay? Because in Clown World, aka California, Los Angeles more specifically, you have anti-gay, no U-turn signs come down in LA's LGBTQ friendly Silver Lake. Okay, so basically these woke activists, along with Democrats, they tore down no U-turn signs and also no cruising signs. Now, again, the reason why they took these signs down is because apparently these signs were used to profile LGBTQ people back in the day. So it's kind of like a symbolic thing where they're saying, hey, these signs, which is like no U-turn, right? My first thought is like, is it true though, right? I mean, like, if you can't make a U-turn, okay, at that area, are they taking down the sign because it's homophobic or whatever? Even though you probably shouldn't make a U-turn at that place, right? I'm just saying, like, that is what I'm confused about. Because I think that is dangerous. If you're taking down U-turn signs in places where people should not make U-turns in the name of fighting homophobia, that's a problem, right? That is a big problem. I hope that's not the case. But this is a story, and yeah, it's 100% real.
Are righting an old wrong in Silver Lake. Here it is. And it also to do with street signs that read no U-turn. It came down today. The signs, in addition to no cruising signs, were posted in the 1990s by neighbors who were targeting LGBTQ community members.
It was no coincidence that these signs were put up after the LGBT community continued to grow more in the 90s here in Silver Lake. In fact, they were part of the reason they were probably put up was because there was an LGBT bar that was just literally down the street from the same area. It's good that we're finding the areas and the symbols within our own very city that continue to have these hateful remnants of the past.
The Silver Lake Community Council voted years ago to remove the no cruising signs, but some of the no U-turn signs remained until today. The removal of the signs is part of the city's effort to commemorate Pride Month.
Yeah, so I don't know about you guys, but I'm actually still confused about what is the alleged profiling that was done of gay people, right? Like, I'm confused about why were these signs so effective, okay? Or what exactly did these signs do? Good thing I found this great article in the Los Angeles Daily News that kind of gives us more information about the alleged profiling and how gay people were profiled that prompted them to take down these signs because they're homophobic, right? In 1997, quote, no U-turn and no cruising signs went up around Silver Lake to stop members of the LGBTQ plus community from cruising in the area. Citing a 2011 article by the East Sider, Hugo Martinez's office said cruising in that context was a euphemism for searching for sex partners. Wow. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. The no cruising and no U-turn signs allow law enforcement to arrest any driver who did a U-turn on Griffith Park Boulevard between midnight and 6 a.m. or who drove down the street more than once within a 6-hour period. Okay, so apparently in this part of LA, you had men who happened to be gay driving around in random neighborhoods looking to get their cheeks clapped by random men, right? Allegedly, right? This is what they say happened, right? So the neighbors decided that, you know what, we don't like having random men riding around in our neighborhoods looking for encounters with other random men who probably in those circumstances would more than likely be a prostitute, right? I'm assuming, that's why they would be riding down the street looking for somebody they could pick up. I think that they're conveniently leaving that part of the story out, okay? I think searching for sex partners is a very vague general term for a reason, right? I think that they were looking for a specific type of partner, right? And apparently the neighbors didn't like this, okay? They said, we don't like this, so we're going to put up the no cruising and no U-turn signs, which would prompt law enforcement to pull over one of these gay individuals who makes a U-turn after finding out that there are no sex partners in the area, right? I'm assuming that's how it would work. And I guess they would pull over the gay person and they would, write him a ticket or whatever, okay? Or basically tell him, don't come back to this neighborhood, right? You're not welcome here, okay? There are no available partners for you here, right? I'm not entirely sure what the police did or law enforcement did to actually disincentivize people from coming back outside of pulling them over for making a U-turn, right? But this is what they say happened, okay? At the time, members of the gay community claimed that undercover police deliberately lured men they suspected of being gay in order to arrest them. Okay. That's not really saying much, but okay. In 2011, the city removed the no cruising signs in response to local activism and advocacy from the Silver Lake Neighborhood Council, but no U-turn signs remain up along Griffith Park Boulevard until Monday when the last signs were taken down. Wow. So that's the story, right? That is the story, okay? Apparently, these signs are homophobic and hateful because they were used to profile gay people in the 90s who were riding around these neighborhoods looking for partners to sleep with, right? And the neighbors apparently didn't want that, right? They didn't like that, okay? So this is why they put up the sign. But apparently, according to the woke activists, it is hateful and bigoted. It is homophobic if you don't want random men in your neighborhood cruising around looking for relationships with other random men. Apparently that makes you a bigot. It makes you hateful to say, hey, I don't want that type of activity in my neighborhood, around my kids, just in the area, right? We just don't want that type of stuff happening here. Apparently, again, that's hateful, right? That is bigotry. It really does go back to what I always tell you guys about how, you have people in this country that are not fighting for equal rights. They're fighting for special rights and privileges, right? This is actually what they're fighting for. And if you disagree with the special right or privilege that nobody else gets, by the way, right? I mean, whether you're gay or not, okay, I just think that you don't want random men in your neighborhood riding around looking for encounters with women, right? You don't want that in any form whatsoever, okay? Regardless of if the person's gay or not, okay? But again, if you disagree with these individuals and what they want to do, right? The privileges that they want, okay? That is hateful. It is hateful to disagree with these people. This is basically what it's come down to. Because there is no rhyme or reason to any of this outside of, well, we just feel like we should be able to do this and that's it, right? And if you don't allow us to do it, Doesn't matter how ridiculous that it is. Okay, that means you just hate us. And yeah, I mean, that's just what it is at this point. And they're allowed to do this because of their perceived victimhood status, right? I was just thinking about the WNBA video that I just did. If you guys haven't seen that video, you should check it out. It's one of my best videos I've done because I hit all the points that I actually really wanted to make, right? I didn't have a moment where I went back and I was like, oh, I kind of wanted to throw this point in there, right? That was a complete video. Please watch it. The WNBA players, on average, they probably have about 3 Infinity Stones of wokeness per player, okay? Caitlin Clark only has 1 Infinity Stone of wokeness. And I personally think that's the difference between how you see somebody like Caitlin Clark deal with adversity versus the WNBA players with more Infinity Stones of wokeness. Because I think that at some point, once you have a certain amount of Infinity Stones of wokeness, more than 1 basically, you can't help but play the victim card no matter what, because that's all you know. That's all you've been told. You've been told your whole life that, hey, these bad things happen to you because of your identity and who you are. And you become paranoid because they feel like they're always under attack. And because of that, they think that they can just do whatever they want to do, right? Doesn't matter if it's best for the rest of society. Doesn't matter the traditions and some of the customs that society has followed since the beginning of the society, okay, or the culture. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If they say we want to change it or we want it our way, they're going to demand that. And if you disagree with them, then again, they're going to say that, well, you just hate me, right? Because they don't have an argument, right? They don't have a real argument. So again, I understand why a lot of these individuals are collecting Infinity Stones of wokeness like Pokemon cards, right? Like, I think I kind of really understand the whole gender stuff now. That's an easy Infinity Stone wokeness to collect, right? All you gotta do is say, hey, I'm non-binary, right? You don't have to do anything, right? But you guys get my point, okay? You get my point. The more these Infinity Stones of wokeness that you collect, the more of a perceived victim that you become. And therefore, that gives you leverage to demand things that make absolutely no sense, right? Just because you don't like it, or to reorganize society the way that you want it. And you have people that will come out here and say, hey, yeah, we should do that, right? Even though it makes no sense, simply because they have a guilt complex in which they feel bad about what happened to these victims in the past. And that in and of itself, the ability to get people to agree with something that just doesn't make sense at all, right? Regardless of what it is, that's power. It really is. That is power. And that now becomes a feedback loop because, again, these individuals will claim that, hey, we're powerless. And then they will leverage that to exert power over the rest of society while also claiming to be powerless. Again, it's fascinating stuff. Okay. Again, Democrats went on board with this, right? They got on board with this. So now they're taking the signs down as an act of bravery to fight homophobia and bigotry. Yeah. Fascinating story. It really is. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.